Welcome to the virtual public meeting for the Maryland 45 roadway improvements and water main replacement project in Baltimore County. Thank you for attending. My name is Joe Harrison, and I'm with the State Highway Administration Public Involvement Section. I will serve as moderator this evening. SHA is collaborating with Baltimore County on this project. The purpose is to upgrade the roadway surface and replace the water main along Maryland 45, also known as York Road. The project extends about a half mile from the Towson Roundabout to Newell Avenue in Towson's commercial district. Construction will begin later this year and will take place in several phases, starting with the water main replacement and then followed by the roadway improvements. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to go over the project details, walk through the construction schedule, and answer your questions. Next slide, please. First, let's go over several housekeeping items. Written questions can be submitted at any time using the Q&A box, and the project team will address them after the presentation. More details on that in a few minutes. Also, live captions and subtitles are available in both English and Spanish. The current slide shows you how to find these options, and instructions are available in the meeting Q&A box. We also want you to know this meeting is being recorded and will be available for viewing on the project webpage, which is located on the project portal section of the SHA website. Finally, we do ask that if you are attending the meeting by phone, please remain muted to limit background noise. Next slide. Let's quickly go over tonight's agenda. We'll have brief opening remarks and introductions, and then we'll have a presentation from the team about the project, which we expect will last about 25 minutes. At that point, we'll open it up for written questions you can submit during the meeting, as well as questions we've already received. We'll talk more about that process after the project presentation. I would now like to turn it over to Claudine Myers, District Engineer for SHA District 4. Claudine?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Claudine Myers, District Engineer for District 4 of the Maryland State Highway Administration, which covers Baltimore and Harford counties. I want to welcome each of you to tonight's meeting on Maryland 45 York Road roadway improvement and water main replacement project. The purpose of tonight's virtual meeting is to acquaint you with the project and provide you with an overview of the construction phases and give you an opportunity to ask questions related to the project. At this point, I'd like to welcome any elected officials who have joined us. I encourage you to enter your name and comments, if any, in the Q&A box so that we can personally welcome you and address any comments you have promptly when we see them. We will continue to acknowledge any elected officials that may join throughout the meeting. The Maryland 45 York Road roadway improvement and water main replacement project is located in Towson, a suburb of Baltimore County, Maryland. The project extends along York Road from Newell Avenue to the roundabout with East Joppa Road and Delaney Valley Road. Construction is scheduled to begin this summer, 2025, and estimated to conclude in the fall of 2027. The project is a partnership between the State Highway Administration and the Baltimore County Department of Public Works, and will focus on addressing much-needed infrastructure improvements. By combining our efforts into one project, we will minimize impacts to both commuters and local residents by eliminating the need for two separate projects. I want to note that this project will not add any capacity or change traffic operations on York Road. I would like to take a moment to introduce the project team, starting with Mr. Jordan Voigt, who is our SHA project manager, Mr. Pawan Podell, Baltimore County Department of Public Works project manager, Mr. Payam Aspen, SHA District 4 traffic team leader, Ms. Holly Pearl, SHA Community Relations Manager. Ms. Judith Devasti, SHA Title VI Coordinator. And finally, Mr. Terry Maxwell, SHA Public Involvement Coordinator. I will now turn the meeting over to Jordan. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Claudine, and good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Jordan Vogt, and as Claudine mentioned, I am the SHA Project Manager for the Maryland 45 York Road Roadway and Waterline Improvements Project. Shown here is a location map for the project with the project limits highlighted. The southern limits of the project begin at Newell Avenue, located on the Towson University campus. The project work limits will extend to the north just before the Towson roundabout. The project scope consists of replace 2,600 linear feet, approximately 1/2 mile of Baltimore County water main along Maryland 45 York Road. Traffic signal improvements, improve drainage by repairing and cleaning inlets and pipes, perform minor landscaping, reconstruct sidewalk to be compliant with ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, ramps and driveway entrances, as well as repair damaged sidewalk. Mill and resurface Maryland 45 York Road from the Towson roundabout to Newell Avenue, and update signage and pavement markings. The next slide shows the phases of the project schedules is as follows. The tentative start date of construction is the summer of 2025, with construction expected to begin before the Labor Day holiday. Construction is anticipated to be completed by fall of 2027, with an approximate construction duration of just over 2 years. This next slide shows the phases of construction, along with the intended improvement activities under each phase, along with an estimated timeframe. Phase 1, lasting 1 to 1.5 years, includes replacing the Baltimore County water main, upgrade traffic signals and intersection lighting. Phase 2 includes reconstruct and install drainage structures, construct curb, sidewalk ramps, and driveway entrances. In Phase 3, grind and then install the pavement surface, install signage and pavement markings, install landscape. Phases 2 and 3 are approximately 1 year in total length. At this time, I would like to turn the presentation over to Mr. Pawan Podell from the Baltimore County Department of Public Works to discuss the work associated with construction of the water main improvements.
Thank you, Jordan, and thank you, everyone. My name is Pawan Podell. I'm engineer for Baltimore County and project manager for this project. I'll be responsible for overseeing water main replacement in this project. For the background of this project, the water main on York Road were installed around 1936, meaning these mains are about 89-year old. In this project, we will be replacing about 2,600 linear feet of water main on York Road. Benefit of this project will be improving water system for the community. This project is planned and coordinated with SHA to avoid duplication of effort and resources, meaning one-time disruption and nice road after that. Advanced water main shutdown notices will be provided to residents who will be affected at least 72 hours prior. Starting location of construction will be decided by contractor. Water service interruption will be restricted to maximum 8 hours at a time. The design is planned in a way that existing water main will remain in service until proposed is installed, test, and pass all transfer of the house connection. What residents should expect is lane closure will affect during water main construction. Lane closure will be affected during water main construction. Trench work will be performed during nighttime to install water main and house connection on York Road and adjacent street. The road will be open by morning time. Next slide, please. Water main replacement will include main from Pennsylvania Avenue to south of Bosley Avenue. On the left side of this slide, it shows tentative starting point of project on south of Bosley Avenue. Blue line shows where tentative water main will be placed. The line coming off of the York Road shows tentative water house connection to the houses and businesses. Next slide, please. This slide is continuation from previous slide, moving north on York Road. Blue line shows tentative water main and house connection alignments. Next slide, please. This slide is also continuation from previous slide, moving north on York Road. Blue line shows tentative water main and house connection alignment. Slide shows project limit on north side of West Pennsylvania Avenue. Next slide, please. This slide shows the street view on York Road. The blue line shows the approximate location where the new water main will be placed. Next slide, please. This slide is continuation from previous slide, moving north on York Road. The blue line shows the approximate location where the new water main will be placed. I will now turn it over to Mr. Jordan Vogt from SHA Project Manager to speak about roadway construction.
Jordan, are you, Jordan, you appear to be muted.
Apologize for that, everybody. Thank you, Pawan. I would now like to highlight the proposed traffic signal modifications being proposed under this project, beginning with the traffic signal at Burke Avenue. The proposed traffic signal modifications include upgrading the existing audible, pedestrian, and countdown signals, which are more commonly recognized as the push buttons used across the street. Additional improvements include upgrading the existing crosswalks, as well as installing a new traffic signal cabinet. There are no proposed signal operation changes at this intersection. The next intersection is Towsontown Boulevard. The proposed traffic signal modifications include upgrading the existing audible, pedestrian, and countdown signals and upgrading the existing crosswalks. There are no proposed traffic signal operation changes at this intersection. The next intersection is Chesapeake Avenue. The proposed traffic signal modifications include reconstructing the traffic signal, which will also include upgrading the existing audible pedestrian countdown signals and upgrading the crosswalks. There are no proposed signal operation changes at this intersection. The next intersection is Pennsylvania Avenue. The proposed traffic signal modifications include reconstructing the traffic signal, which will also include upgrading the existing audible pedestrian countdown signals and upgrading the crosswalks. There are no proposed signal operation changes at this intersection. I would now like to go over the proposed ADA sidewalk and driveway reconstruction work. The areas shown with the red box are where this project will be reconstructing sidewalks, sidewalk ramps, and driveways to be compliant with ADA requirements. Some of this work will be done along with the traffic signal improvements mentioned in the previous slides. This next slide shows the limits of the proposed pavement resurfacing from Newell Avenue to the Towsontown Boulevard. This work will be part of Phase 3 activities once the water main and other roadway improvements have been completed. This slide is a continuation from the previous slide and shows the limits of the proposed pavement resurfacing from Towson Town Boulevard to the Towson Roundabout. Again, this work will be part of Phase 3 activities once the water main and other roadway improvements have been completed. I would now like to introduce Mr. Payam Azban from District 4 Traffic, who will be going over the project's working hours and impacts to motorists and pedestrians.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Payam Azban, District 4 Traffic. As you heard, this project is scheduled for nighttime work, and lane closures are typically scheduled from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. next day. Daytime lane closures may occasionally occur for special operations for limited off-peak hours. Business access and pedestrian pathway will be maintained during construction. On-site parking may be temporarily disrupted, and transit access and stops may be adjusted during construction. I'm now turning it to Holly Pearl.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Pine. I just wanted to let everyone know that SHA is concerned about pedestrians and automotive and bicyclist safety during construction, as always. And though some of these things may seem like common sense, we just want to remind you to be safe. And our 4 E's of traffic safety are enforcement, engineering, education, and emergency services. We'd like to remind drivers to please put down distractions and don't be texting and driving, to obey the speed limit, to stay alert and slow down when you're driving in work zones. The fines will be doubled. Move over when approaching any stop, standing, or parked vehicles, displaying a warning signal. It is the law. And also to please stop for pedestrians and crosswalks, give 3 feet when passing bicyclists, and yield right of way to cyclists when turning right, and watch for them on our shared roads. Next slide, please. Thank you. We want to remind pedestrians to always use the sidewalks and marked crosswalks, and to please be cognizant of all of these markings when there is construction. Please pay attention and put down distractions, and don't text and walk. Always stop at the curb, look left and right before you cross the street, and to please wear bright colored clothing, especially if you're out in the evening. And for our bicyclists who we share the road with, please stop at red lights and stop signs, ride with the traffic, not against it, and yield the right of way to pedestrians. And please use hand signals when turning or stopping so that vehicles understand what you are doing on the road. Thank you and stay safe. I'm going to turn it over to Judith DeVasti.
Thanks, Holly. As Holly just mentioned, my name is Judith DeVasti, and I serve as the Title VI Manager for State Highway Administration. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 provides that no person shall, on the grounds of race, color, national origin, sex, English proficiency, or disability, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity. Title VI gives the public the assurance that agency services and resources will be allocated fairly, and any negative transportation impacts shared equally. If you feel that State Highway Administration is not meeting the expectations of Title VI and would like to either file a complaint or seek assistance, please feel free to contact me by phone at 410-545-0404 or by email at sha-title6@mdot.maryland.gov. I'll now pass the presentation back to Joe Harrison.
Thank you, Judith. Before we move to questions, let's take a few minutes to talk about meeting logistics. Terry Maxwell is with SHA Public Involvement. Terry?
Thanks, Joe, and thank you to our attendees for joining this evening online and on the phone. I'd like to cover a few quick tips on how you can participate tonight. As Joe noted, all participants will remain muted throughout the meeting to help with background noise. We will have several ways for you to provide input during and after the meeting. One way to do this is when we open for questions and comments, online users can use the Q&A box to type in your question or comment. To locate the Q&A, please look on the right side of your screen, likely towards the bottom, to locate a box where you can type a question. With many attendees tonight, the Q&A box will be helpful in tracking the comments and questions coming in and will help our moderator direct them to our panel of project team members. Members have the choice to post their question or comment anonymously by checking the provided box. You may also find some helpful information posted in the Q&A box, such as the project website and contact information. Next slide, please. Another way to provide input for those using the call-in option only and who do not have access to the Q&A box is to visit the online comment form on our project webpage after the meeting so we can make sure we receive your comments and concerns as well. To get to the online comment form, go to roads.maryland.gov and click on Projects to access the Maryland 45 Roadway Improvements and Water Main Replacement Project, listed under District 4, Baltimore County, in MDOT SHA's project portal. We will share this comment form location information again throughout the meeting. Thank you, and at this point, I'll turn it back over to Joe.
Thank you, Terry. We promise to end the meeting no later than 8 o'clock. If we run out of project-related questions or discussion, we may conclude sooner. Next slide. Let's now move on to community questions and comments. I'd like to introduce several more project team members who may help to answer questions. Fran Ward, Community Relations Manager for District 4. David Light, Environmental Manager. John Blondell, Design Engineer for the Water Main Replacement Project. Bitu Dewaldi, Construction Area Engineer. Rob Webb, District 4 Right-of-Way. Melody White, Project Utility Coordinator. And Rawa Al-Tamimi, District 4's Design Project Manager for roadway improvements. We've received questions and comments from a number of people since the project began. We'll address some of those throughout tonight's meeting, and we'll also address questions submitted tonight using the Q&A box as Terry described. I will read the questions for the panel of study team members to address. Let's get started. I see a couple of questions in the Q&A box, and we'll go right to them. The first one reads, would it be possible to eliminate parallel parking on York Road between Towsontown Boulevard and Towson Circle? So here's a question not directly tied to this project, but the question is, is it possible to eliminate parallel parking on York Road between Towsontown Boulevard and the Towson Circle? Who would like to address that?
Hello, this is Rawal Tamimi, SHA District 4 Project Manager for Roadway Improvement. And I want to start to identify that this project is focused on replacing the water main. It's aging. Some portions are like 90 years of age, and addressing the deteriorated pavement, drainage issues, and making the sidewalk ADA compliant. The on-street parking is metered, and it's Baltimore County remain within Baltimore County authorities. and whether it can be removed or not, we need to consult with Baltimore County and coordinate with Baltimore County. And SHA has not asked to remove or study the impact of removing this parking. Thank you.
Thank you, Rava. Let's talk a little bit about that. What are there opportunities for revisions along York Road that would affect, that would impact traffic operations or parking or even a bicycle lane? Or is this project pretty focused, have a pretty narrow focus, and that's what we're concentrating on? You can talk about what is the scope of this project and why that scope was selected. Who would like to start that response? Jordan, I see you're muted.
Sure, I'll go ahead and I'll touch on this one. So the primary, kind of as Rawa had explained, the primary scope of this project is the water main replacement, in addition to the resurfacing that's associated with that, and some traffic signal upgrades. So right now we're pretty well focused on maintaining the existing lane configurations out there. So we're not looking to add bike lanes. The roadway corridor is pretty well developed, so if we were to add additional lanes, we would be impacting commercial property. However, as part of the project process, when we coordinate with our district traffic folks and Baltimore County, we look for ways that if there's incremental improvements that could be made, something as simple as adjusting signal timing, signage upgrades, maybe working on timing adjustments is one that we can allow for more movements. So there's opportunities where we looked in the project to make that, and so that kind of fits within the confines of the project scope.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. I would now like to invite attendees to submit questions if you have them, or comments, and please use the Q&A box for that purpose. That's what we're using for discussion tonight. So to locate the Q&A box, please look on the right side of your screen, locate a box where and locate the box where you can type a question. We welcome all questions and all input. Obviously, we're focused on this project, and that's what we really need to focus on tonight as much as possible. For those who, for the benefit of those who attended late, let's talk about, and let's get very basic just for a minute. Why are we doing this project? We've got water main happening, and we're going to be doing roadway resurfacing as well. How was the decision made to combine those two efforts with two agencies working on them as well? Who can talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this is Rawa, SHA. The history behind this project, SHA began roadway improvement designed to address the deteriorating pavement conditions, drainage deficiencies, and ADA upgrades. During the design process, Baltimore County approached SHA about upgrading their water line in the project limits. As portion were, as I said before, nearing 90 years of age. BGE at the same time, like recently, upgraded their gas line in a portion of the project limits. So this project will allow us to make these utilities improvement at the same time with reduced need to multiple impact to the roadway and troubling public within the corridor.
Okay, thank you. Going to jump back to the Q&A box, and the question reads, will you please replant trees on the east side of York Road that were removed years ago so that it matches the west side? So what about the idea of what about the idea of planting trees and landscaping and that sort of thing?
It's SHA, Rawa. During our landscape design for this project, we made sure that trees, existing trees, do not get impact, and the roots do not get pruned, and we will provide the construction orange fencing to keep them safe. It wasn't within the scope of this project to plant trees, but we made sure that the existing trees will be well maintained and protected. Thank you.
Okay, for posing now a question to District 3, I'm assuming we will note the desire for that and perhaps look for opportunities in the future. Is that a fair response there?
Right, Joe, Leandro. So part of York Road, there may be existing agreements between SHA and the county, especially when the roundabout went in and some of the streetscape features in there. So I don't have that offhand, but we can definitely look into some of the existing agreements, determine if that was an SHA or a county responsibility. So we can look into that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, another question from the Q&A box. Is it normal for a project like this to take 2 years to cover just 2,600 feet or about 100 feet per month? What is the total budgeted project cost? So who can talk about the length of time for the project and the project cost?
I'll take the question. Is it normal to do the construction for 2 years? So the schedule usually done based on how many hours of the work is permitted, and if we say 8 hours at a night, meaning a contractor had to install their MOT, divert the traffic, and bring their equipment, do the work, and then close by the morning time. So by including all those, the schedule comes in as a working days for, I'm talking specifically for the water main construction, and the working days shows around 210 days. So most of the time is scheduled based on previous history and the records. Based on those, we come up with the schedule. And in terms of question about how much the project cost, it's in range between 5 million to 10 million for water main construction. Thank you. This was Pawan Podel from Baltimore County. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who can address the broader, how the schedule is broken down between the water main and the roadway?
Sure, I'll kind of pin back on what Pawan had mentioned. So as part of the first phase of this project is the water line improvements. And so that's going to be the more disruptive element of work within the corridor. SHAs will look for opportunities to either do some of the sidewalk work or traffic signal work that's not directly impacted by the water line work. So part of it is we're going to go ahead, and the water line work typically leads the way on these types of collaborations that we have with the county. And that's just so that we can get the water line installed and tested, just in case they need to do some repairs before we put the final pavement surface on. We don't want to be going out there and ripping up the final pavement surface without a properly tested water line. So obviously, as Pawan had indicated, their estimated time period for construction is obviously very weather dependent as well. And then we'll also have to look into when the water line work would finish and some of the other work, because some of the work that we do for the final pavement surface and the line striping is temperature dependent. So sometimes we have to make sure we can hit the ideal time frame to be able to do this work. And with it being nighttime operations, there's the temperature concerns that come in. So we'll be scheduling things where we can hit the correct temperatures for the materials that we're placing.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. Next question from the Q&A box has to do with bicycles. And the question is, will protected bicycle lanes be added to York Road or to any roads in or near Towson to allow for safe bicycle transportation?
So this is Rawa. So we are not doing any changing in lane configurations for this project, as we specify what is the specifics and focus of this project, and there is no widening for the roadway. So currently with this project, there will be not be like adding bicycle lanes.
Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about pedestrian and bicycle circulation during construction, because I'm guessing will be a concern for many. How will pedestrians, let's start with pedestrians, how will pedestrians be accommodated in the work areas? Can we talk about that a little bit? You would like to
Yeah, I can
address
take it. I can take it. This is I'm from DC for traffic. So the schedule is to maintain pedestrian pathway all the time during construction. It might be a detour for pedestrian, or might have maintained the existing pedestrian. But so the construction sequences will show that in different phase of the project how this is gonna be maintained. But what we can say for sure is that it's gonna be maintained, not closure, and access gonna be maintained during the whole construction time.
Okay, so pedestrians will have a safe pathway throughout the construction period.
Pedestrian will have pathway, but it might not be the same, but will provide alternative if the existing is closed. So pedestrian will have a safe pathway during construction all the time.
Did someone else want to add something?
Yeah.
Yes, Rawa.
Yeah, so pedestrian, like as Pam said, they will always have a safe path and will be detoured to the other side of your road during this section when we work on the other section. These detours will be signalized intersection and will be limited to a single block of work to prevent long detours. So detours will be provided for pedestrians.
Okay. Now, what about bicycles? Bicycle transportation through the area during construction. How will bicyclists deal with work zones?
So for bicycles, like if we have a work zone, they have to detour also to and find an alternative paths.
Anyone else would like to add to that?
So I believe bicycles will share the road as vehicles use, like it is right now. So the road is shared.
Okay. Okay. Okay, very good. Next question from the Q&A box, and this has to do with the water main replacement project. Will water availability be affected south of the project, of the limit of the project? So below the project, will folks down there feel any impact of water availability from the water main project to their north?
So any resident that will be affected, we will notify them, but I have to look into how further south. The only affected area I can think of is for valve closure during the tie-ins. So meaning if the valve is further south that need to be closed to tie in, then in that case maybe yes. But if the resident will be affected, we will provide advance notices. And we will coordinate with the resident if they have any special need.
Okay, that's an excellent point. In general, how will water main shutdowns be coordinated with with properties along York Road, which are primarily businesses. But how will that take place?
So contractor and county coordinate, prepare a notice, standard notice, and reach out to each resident and go to door who will be affected and notify them in advance and provide the phone number with the notices. And if the resident have any special need, then they can reach out to us and we can work to accommodate their need.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
It's down to Augburth Road. For one, I just want to let you know that where the valve closures are south of Newell Avenue. So it'll be affected with a temporary shutdown. That's it.
South of Newell.
South of Newell to Augburth Road.
Okay.
All right, and I just want to thank John Blondell for jumping in. John is the design engineer for the water main replacement project. Okay. Next question in the Q&A box. Jurisdictionally, why is this an SHA project instead of a county/BGE project? So why is this considered an SHA project instead of a county BGE? Who can talk about the jurisdictional issues regarding this project?
So, in Rawa, like what I can, my input is the York Road is a state highway road, and the improvement, the design improvement were initiated by SHA, and then Baltimore County reached out to install the water main.
Okay, and that's why it is essentially the project here is essentially split, from what I can tell, between the county and SHA. Is that correct?
Yes, there is a different share. Depends on the construction cost.
Okay. Okay. Now, if folks have questions about the construction, who should they contact? What should they do? How should they get information? I would split it up. If they have a question about the water main project, which is happening first, or the roadway improvement project, which is happening second, how do they reach out to the project team and get their questions answered? Who would like to talk about that?
I'll go ahead and I'll chime in on that one. So as SHA is administering the contract, SHA will have an on-site project engineer that is assigned to this project. So they'll be there every day on site. So part of that also, because we're coordinating with Baltimore County, is they will have inspectors on site for their work as well. So SHA will be the first point of contact for concerns of businesses, residents, and then SHA will be able to work with that and get best contact if it's a county coordination effort, or if it's something related on the SHA aspect of the project, we'll be able to coordinate that so that there's a proper person for people to go to.
Okay, thank you, Jordan.
Hey, Joe, this is Fran
Yeah.
Ward, just to chime in.
Sure.
There will be a project website for this project. There is currently one right now. Periodic updates will be placed on that website, and you'll always be able to submit a question or a concern through the website. Once we know who the contractor will be, after bids are opened and verified, and once we know who the project manager will be for construction from State Highway, we will add that information to the website so that people who have a direct concern, say you're a business owner and you're directly on York Road and you have a concern about, when the work may take place on your block, you'll be able to reach out to that construction project engineer directly.
And thanks, Fran. This is Holly Pearl. I'm Community Relations Manager. There's a QR code that you should be seeing that you can scan to get to the project portal that Fran was referring to. You can also reach out to Fran or I, and we can direct you there. and make sure that you get in touch with the right people.
Thank
And
you,
our
Holly.
and our contact will be at the end of this virtual meeting. It'll be on a slide.
Is it fair to say the project portal page for this project, which is on the SHA website, is that a really good source for updated information, or what would you suggest is the best source to keep informed?
That would be the best source.
Yep. Go ahead, Fran.
And it will have all the contact information. Say you had a question about the design, for example, Rawa's information will be up there. And then once we know who the contractor is, their information will be up there. And then also whoever the SHA and county construction managers will be, that information will be posted. So there's, you can always send a question through the website. You can always pick up the phone and call. So that's the good thing about this. There will be local, there will be a local field office in the vicinity of Towson where the project team works out of. And that includes typically what we call a construction project engineer who was the construction manager for SHA. There will be county managers that will be assigned that oversee the water line work. And then, there are construction inspectors who are out on the project every day overseeing the work of the contractor that we hire. So there will be a team effort, and there will be a local office that people can call or send an email message to.
So the project portal, by the way, the contact information is on the screen now. And I believe it's also in the Q&A box. But that is all. There's also an opportunity to post questions there and comments, and that's another good way to reach out and make contact with the team with either a request or a concern. So encourage that. And speaking of that, we have a question. This next question was submitted to the project portal page. And I'll read that now. There are a significant number of accidents in this corridor. Are there any traffic calming measures that can be implemented to reduce accidents? Would reducing the number of lanes be a benefit? So the question is concerned about traffic safety. What about traffic calming measures? Can they be implemented? Or reducing the number of lanes, or something else, I assume. Who can talk about the issue of safety in this corridor?
I can take it. This is Payam from District for Traffic. So, taking a look at the recent crash data of this section of the road shows a good number of crashes is rear end and then side sweep. These both type of crashes is mostly related to congestion and traffic volume, which is not gonna be corrected or improved by traffic calming or any other traffic control devices. So we did take another look at it. We didn't. It is not in the scope of this project any kind of traffic calming. It is, like I said, it is mostly related to congestion and traffic volume.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Going back to the Q&A box, and again, I'd like to invite our online users to submit questions or comments. Now's the time to. We've gotten some really very good questions so far. So I encourage you to join in and submit any questions and comments you may have. And again, that's the Q&A box. Look for the icon on the right side of your screen and type your question in. I'd also like to belatedly thank Terry Maxwell, who's helping to sort these out as they come in, these questions, and they've been good so far. Let's move on. This question has to do with a, it sounds like an adjacent project to this one. And the question is, will the current resurfacing project south of this project be completed before you start this one? So question about the resurfacing project to the south of this one. Will that be completed before this project gets started? Who can, first off, briefly describe what project that's being referred to, and then whatever input we can provide here.
All right, Joe,
Joe?
is there? Or go ahead, Fran.
I can step. It's Fran Ward from the district office again. So there is a patching project that just started on York Road. So that is from the city line going north, and that is a short maintenance project, and that would be complete before this project starts. So you're
Okay,
looking
what
at,
else? Yeah.
so it's south of Towson. So it's a maintenance project that's part of an area-wide contract where a contractor goes around and does asphalt pavement patching in various areas. But that is a fiscal year 25 project, so it will be complete in late June.
Okay, thank you. We have 2 more questions in the Q&A box, so I'm again encouraging folks to, now's the time to type in, please. And I will also remind that, you know, this isn't the interaction, public engagement is going to be an ongoing process for this project. So it's going to be a lot more than just this meeting, and you know, it's going to be it's going to be active as long as this project is active. So anyway, the next question has to do with transit. And it reads, will Towson consider improving public transit after this project? Traffic on York Road can get incredibly backed up and dangerous to pedestrians. So this question has to do with potential improvements after this project. But who can just comment in general or shed some light on the concern about public transit and pedestrian safety?
I'll go ahead and kind of, in terms of what our project is, there are a couple of bus stops along within the project limits. So we are, you know, if we're doing some sidewalk work around that, there may be temporary disruption to the service. They may have to relocate the stop to, you know, the next on the other side of the street or something. And that'll be coordinated with MTA. So the proper notification to the riders are put in out of the bus stops and along the route. Just notifying of, you know, the time frame in which that would be done. In terms of overall upgrades to transit, that would be an MTA. We can provide an MTA contact about, you know, opportunities for existing routes that are out there. I think if Baltimore County has any localized transit routes, I'm not sure offhand. I don't know if anybody from the county can chime in on that. That would be, or anything with the Towson University Circle. So there's different elements. If there's anything specific, we can kind of work and provide a contact on how to properly contact somebody to find out opportunities for the new routes or, you know, concerns about the existing routes.
Okay, thank you. On the subject of transit, there are bus stops along this corridor, and will they remain operational during construction, and how will they be accessed?
This is Rawa. So the existing bus stop within the corridor will remain, and there will be, as Jordan stated, SHA will coordinate with MTA, Maryland Transit Administration, and there will be some adjustment to the stops, and the riders will be made aware of the adjustment in advance of the work.
Okay, thank you. Another thing present throughout the corridor or in parts of the corridor is on-street parking. How will construction impact on-street parking? Can we give a feel to that?
Yeah. On-street parking will be impacted during the construction hours within the specific work zones, work areas. And we will make every attempt to retain all the spots outside the construction working hours. So they will be impacted, but it will be like intervals. It depends on the time of the work and the work zone. And then they will be retained.
Great, thank you. Question in the Q&A box. Will Trump administration cuts affect this project? Can anyone address that? Certainly a timely question at the moment.
So I'll go ahead on that one, Joe. So as this project is advertised, we'll be advertising next week. It is within SHA's planned budgets, as well as Baltimore County's budget. So this project will not be affected by that, by any potential Trump administration cuts.
Okay, Jordan, thank you. Appreciate that. Next question, is there any preliminary idea on where the contractor's equipment will be staged? We've already got a dozen contractor backhoes sitting at Chesapeake and Virginia. So that's a good question. What have we gotten to that point yet where we know where equipment will be staged for this project?
I'll go ahead and take that one, Joe. So as right now, we don't have a contractor with us. And as part of SHA contracts, SHA does not identify sites for them to store their equipment. It is up to the contractor themselves to procure a site. And if that sometimes involves working with a private property owner for using that property, so that's done by the contractor. We're not identifying, like I said, we're not identifying any work locations as part of this contract.
Okay, thank you. Next question, is it considered part of the patching phase to scrape most of the surface of York Road south of Towson? So I'm going to read that again. Is it considered part of the patching phase to scrape most of the surface of York Road south of Towson? I guess the question is referring to the patching job to the south of this project. Who can respond to that?
I'll try on this, Joe, or unless you want to, Rowan. So essentially, if it's a patching only project, they're going to patch and then fill back in the same day. So as part of a resurfacing, they'll do all the associated patching first, and then we'll come back and mill the full roadway limits and then come back and put the final surface. I think that is, I guess, is there any more context in the rest of that question?
That's pretty much what we have. But I think that helped, Jordan. I hope it did anyway. Okay, we have one more question, which we'll get to in a few minutes. I'd like to sort of issue a last call for questions. So encouraging folks to submit the questions in the Q&A box. And before we get to that question, to the question we have left, and hopefully any new ones, I think we should talk about construction schedule and what are the hours? Let's go over again because it's important. What is the schedule of construction hours? When will construction take place? And that sort of thing. Who can talk about that?
Yeah, I can take it. This is Payam.
Okay,
Work is scheduled to be done at night. So typically we have lane closures from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. the next day. Daytime lane closures and construction may occur, often for special operations. Upon approval, it's daytime gonna be for a limited time off-peak hours.
Okay. Now, why is the construction taking place during nighttime hours?
So this is mostly the main reason is the volume of the traffic during the day. So if basically lane closure during the day at that section of the road doesn't look really proper because traffic will be back up so long and the capacity will be reduced. This is the main reason from maintenance of traffic perspective.
Okay. Can we address just for a minute the sequencing of how it's envisioned the construction will take place? In other words, is this going to be taking place in sections of the corridor? Do we know any information about that? In what direction, perhaps? How long each section may take? Let's just whatever we can do to help folks visualize what may be taking place soon. Who can talk about that?
I think Pawan, would you mind
Pawan,
taking the
yeah.
lead on this one? Because the road,
Sure.
the water line is the first limits or the first element of work.
As shown previously, there's 3 phases. First phase is waterline construction, and even the waterline construction we divided into small phases, like 3 phases. And the reason to do that is we allow contractor to choose where they want to start from, but they do work in a small section. They install a new pipe, they test it, and once everything tests and pass, and that's when they're allowed to tie into the old one and transfer all the services with the minimal disruption of water services. So meaning the phasing will be done in a small areas. And sorry, what was the question again? I think I missed. I only answered one part.
Yeah, I think you did a good job with that. Does anyone else have anything to add in terms of just the construction sequencing and scheduling? Okay. Okay, we have 2 more questions, and then we'll go to closing comments. And the one question is sort of relates to what we just talked about, and when we were talking about the water construction and the water main replacement project. And the question reads, how much advance notice will you give businesses before you shut water off? Really good question, and obviously a concern if you're a business running a business.
Yes, I'll take that question. So this is Pawan Podel from Baltimore County. So the way it works is first we'll install the new main. Old main will be in service, no disruption there. We'll test it once everything is passed. Then during that time, before we do the tie-ins, we have a set rule of 72 hours minimum. So meaning at least 72 hours, which is 3 days. Or I mean, depends on if a resident or business is. It could be earlier, and you would be because the contractor will be in vicinity. You will have some idea of where the construction is. Based on that, you will also know which part are they working. Meaning, if they are in front of businesses or resident, soon to be you will be the one who getting the shutdown notices, like once the construction of that small phase completed. So the minimum is 72 hours. And if that is not enough, I would appreciate the businesses or resident to reach out to us so we can coordinate better of your special need.
And that's an important point, isn't it? That if a business has urgent or special needs, that you need to let the contractor need to let us know about that, because we can't try to accommodate if we're not aware of it.
That is true, and sometimes it's a health emergency, or sometimes it's businesses, or like for example, it could be a hospital, for example, that cannot get a shutdown during at all, and we have to find ways to keep them open all the time. I'm just giving example, but yeah, if the businesses have some need, then shutdown may have to work around. We have to find the best time. And usually these shutdowns that we're referring to happens for 8 hours at a time. 8 hours is the maximum. We don't allow more than 8 hours of shutdown, and we usually do shutdown at night, meaning less interruption. If the businesses are most of the businesses are close at the night, then we pick at the nighttime. If the businesses are working at the night, then we have to work around and find the best time or minimal disruption how we can do that. But that's just a general how we do.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Kumar. Okay, we have 2 questions in the Q&A, which we'll address. And then I'd like for us to close with again some reminders on how people can stay informed about this project as it moves forward. So I'd like for a member of the team to address that, and then we'll go to Claudine Myers, the district engineer, to wrap us up. So the first question I see is in the Q&A box. It reads, over 50 vehicular incidents, fatal injury or property, have happened on this 0.53 mile section of this road in 2023. What traffic calming measures are being considered to bring these incidents down? So, question about safety on this roadway, and over 50 incidents in 2023.
Yeah, I can take it. This is Payam. So basically, we are not adding any traffic control devices or traffic calming. However, by improving sidewalks and ADA ramps and some signals work, basically we are improving pedestrian safety at this section of the road. So it could help with the traffic incidents and the severity of the crashes.
Okay. Does anyone else care to add to the question? Okay. Final question. Will this project affect traffic patterns for Towson athletics, in particular football games?
Hello, this is Rawa. So, so for traffic and pedestrian operation during the construction, we will have lane closures, flagging operation, and we will have detours for the, this is the type of disruption that you will see. We have detours for pedestrian sidewalk. It is like but having the work done at night, this is one of the reasons we have it at night, to have like as much little disruption for the road users.
I also just wanted, this is Fran Ward, just wanted to chime in for Towson football and any, major sporting events, graduations, those events. Most people are directed to come to the university through Charles Street to Towson Town Boulevard. So, or they can use the Towson bypass if they're heading south on York Road, they can turn right onto the Towson bypass and reach the core of Towson that way and the university.
Great point, Fran. Thank you. Okay, let's close with a couple of important issues, I think. One is let's revisit just for a second the construction phasing, and because that's important. And let's talk about that one more time. And who would like to address that? It's a good thing to close on.
Yep, I'll go ahead and take that one, Joe. So as we see the current slide that I put back up here again, just kind of outlines our phases of construction. So phase one, as we talked about and Pawan went over. So the first bulk of the project is going to be the Baltimore County water main. And then, SHA can probably do some like traffic signal work and some intersection stuff that's not directly impacted by the water main. And then once the water main is completing, SHA will be reconstructing and installing drainage structures, construct curb, sidewalk, and driveway ramp entrances. And this is just so that the water line work doesn't impact something that we construct and, we're doing duplicate work. And then once all of the water main has been installed, tested, and the county approves all the connections and everything, and then we're done with the rest of our curb and sidewalk work, then we're going to grind and then we'll do a resurfacing of the entire project limits. And then after that will be the upgraded signage and pavement markings, and then some final landscaping work. So, and that'll just kind of merges with phases 2 and 3.
And Jordan, again, when will this whole process start? When will phase 1 start?
Yeah, so phase 1, so our construction, we're looking to start here late in summer. So it's probably sometime around the Labor Day holiday is when the contractor will be getting their notice to proceed. And then as we kind of went over, it's about a 2-year project. So sometime around the fall of 2027 is when we're anticipating to install that final pavement surface.
Okay. And final question, I think, let's talk again a little bit about how folks can stay informed and reach out if they have questions or concerns. And as the project moves forward over the next couple of years. Who would like to talk about that? Thank you, Holly.
Yeah, sure thing. And Fran, feel free to chime in too. This is Holly Pearl again. I'm the Community Relations Manager, and our project portal page will be kept up to date, so you can always find out what's going on with the project. There's a QR code on the screen you can scan, and it'll take you right to the page. And I believe the last slide, if we can go to that, has contact information. Yep, there it is. For the project team, if you have questions or just need some help getting to the project page, these are the folks that you can reach out to. And be sure to follow us on social media. There'll be updates there from time to time as well.
Great. Thank you, Holly. Fran, did you want to add anything? Okay. I think we're good there. All right, it's time to conclude questions and answers and move to closing comments. I'd like to thank everyone who submitted questions tonight. They were very good, and for those who did not were not able to attend, please let folks know that they can go to the project portal page, and this meeting was recorded, so it will be available in a couple of days. It'll be around for those who would like to either see it again or see it for the first time. Okay, I'd now like to call upon Claudine Myers to wrap us up. Claudine.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you all for taking the time to join us this evening and for your valuable input on the York Road roadway improvement and water main replacement project. We appreciate your engagement and your thoughtful questions and concerns you've shared. Your feedback helps to ensure that we address the needs of the community while making the necessary infrastructure improvements. Our goal is to complete the project efficiently while minimizing disruptions as much as possible. We will continue to keep you informed throughout the process and encourage you to reach out with any further questions and concerns. Please visit the project portal page or contact the project manager if you need more information. Thank you again for being a part of this discussion, and we look forward to a successful project ahead. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudine, and thanks to everyone for participating in the meeting. Please, everyone, be safe and good night.